morning. Ooh, hopefully, I won't start the chain sneeze. Usually, I sneeze like 7 in a row. Buenos dias. Ooh, it's a beautiful sunny. Is it Thursday? Yes. Oh, yesterday was a doozy. I was trying to get this video out, and I've decided from now on, I'm just going to talk into the camera and not worry about the aesthetics, writing things on the screen. I am not good at the editing part. That's why I like these. This is live. You just record and you go. I'm using different shoes today, so we'll see. I love these Converse, but here in Panama, they're not the best shoes because they don't have a big sole. Good morning. And when I'm in Panama and I'm hitting the pavement, I need shoes that have a thicker sole because as I walk the streets, there's broken glass, there's uneven surfaces, and I need to have good support. How's everybody doing today? Robin, good morning. Greta, I'm so proud of you. You show up, girl. Thank you so much. Do you come here after you've done your walk to the little shopping or the mall that you talk about? But anyway, I realized that today is day 7. It's been a week, and I haven't been as good as I should in terms of the food because, like yesterday, I finished the pizza bread that I had, which really I shouldn't, but that's what I had in the house. So I finished my veggie balls. So today I'm gonna have to cook something else. I have some pineapple, papaya, so I can certainly eat fruit. And I've been wanting to make a smoothie this week, but I haven't because I have some papaya seeds that I want to use. Papaya seeds, they say, I take everything with a grain of salt. Recently, they say papaya seeds are good for digestion. They have good antioxidants and stuff. So, as you get older, it's good to clean your gut, to have a clean gut. Because, I wrote something the other day about the gut brain connection. Whatever you're feeding here and all the enzymes and microbiomes and all that, they directly affect your brain health. So you can make the smoothie. Usually, I make my smoothie, the water that I use to make my smoothie. After I cut a pineapple, I clean the skin and I boil it. And then I can either use that water to make tea. Sometimes I'll throw a cinnamon stick in there, some ginger, and then I make tea. But the only thing I don't like about tea is that I can't drink it without any sugar. So I'll put a little monk fruit, a little packet of the monk fruit in it. And I do have some brown sugar in the kitchen sometimes. If I use one monk fruit, I'll put like half a teaspoon of the regular brown sugar. White sugar, I stopped eating that years ago. Using that. Now, I'm not a cake person. I'm not a dessert person, so I don't make muffins and stuff like that, even though I could. But remember, I told you I'm almost allergic to carbs, so I have to kind of watch it. But I want to make some muffins for the security people downstairs. And every time I think about it, I forget. I used to make lots of muffins when I worked in the hospital, and I was the muffin girl. So you could make muffins with oats, almond flour. Those of you who like juicing, all the trimming from the juicing, if you juice pineapple and other things, you could use that as a filling when you're making your muffin. And the muffin really is flour, sugar, 1 egg, anything else you want to put into it, a little bit of salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, and then that's it, right? And you maybe put like a little baking powder just to help it elevate. And that's really all you need. So you can, but I want to make like some corn muffin for the people downstairs because corn is very prevalent in the diet here. That's the indigenous connection and influence, right? So they have corn tortillas, corn everything, right? But cornmeal, they used to make a drink called shishami, which is like a sweet drink. They boil the corn and they add milk and what else do they add? Yeah, and then season it with cinnamon. That one is an acquired taste for me. So I'm not so crazy about it, but so corn muffin would be like an experiment for them, trying something that they haven't tried before with the corn, with the ingredients. Let's see. Madiwa, good morning, my sister. All right, let's move, sisters. It's been a week, and I can tell you, I see a little difference. So the day that I'm really going to be looking, because I'm not really concerned so much about losing a lot of weight. I just want to reshape certain areas of my body that I just let go. I definitely want to, shrink this a little bit because that's where I retain all my fluid, right here and in my face. And the times that I know I see the difference is when I overeat carbs. And sadly, when I'm stressed or worried, I eat carbs. And that's why it's always like a yin yang, fight, fight, fight. So I am never 100%, how would I say that? Disciplined. Yeah, this is a word I don't use with myself because I'm not disciplined at all when it comes to food. I don't eat bad food, but when I like something, I eat too much of it. I'm a binger. And that's what's bad. Whew. So yesterday we stretched. So today we're gonna tighten up. We're gonna spend a lot more time on the floor because we want to tighten the core. This one is a good exercise to constantly be doing, and then we're gonna be doing a lot of leg work because if you want your legs to be strong and tighten and reshaped, you got to do those trusty squats, and they are a good way to increase your cardiovascular workout without jumping up and down. Okay, you don't need to jump up and down. Whew. So yeah, yesterday I spent a lot of time editing a video. I was paying someone to do it, and then I had to stop for a little bit. But this is not my forte, I tell you. So what I'm gonna do is just for my videos, I'm just gonna talk in the camera, into the camera. That's it. Ooh, this is good. It's that sternocleidomastoid muscle. It stretches. Oh, that's so good. So try to do this one, and you're gonna feel it right here. Whew. I'm warm. I know about you. The trick is to do both upper and lower. Whatever movement you're doing, upper body, keep your legs moving. You get a better workout that way, and you won't have to work as hard. That's a good one too. And I don't know if you notice, I make it up as I go. Ad lib. I'm not going to spend time creating, you know, exercise plan. I leave it to the others, to the experts. All right, I think we warmed up. We are warmed up. Yes. Whew. I know you love bread. Well, you can. It's just that and like I said yesterday, I started going back and I realized that carb, and maybe it's not just carb, maybe it's a bit of gluten, allergy, sensitivity, I should say, because I don't get sick when I eat bread. I just retain fluid, right? Because carbohydrates tend to do that. But the 7-minute lady, oh, people, reduce carbs, but not everybody is the same. You can't apply the same philosophy to everybody. Everybody's body composition is different. So that's why you have to be in tune with your body and know what affects you and oops, and what affects you, and what exercise work best for you. Fruits and vegetables I can eat as much as I want, and of course, fruit. It depends, right? I have diabetes running in my family. My mom, one of 6 kids, is the only one who was never diagnosed with it. Oh my God, I'm just thinking about it now. That's crazy. And I would do her lab work and her sugar would be fine. I don't have it. But when I was at my heaviest, like I told you, the last when I went into the provider's office, and my weight was 203, and I almost died of shame. I almost died of shame, right? Because I'm a nurse practitioner. I understand. I counsel my people, my patients, but you know what? I really did not acknowledge first my carb sensitivity, and then second, the full effect of menopause on my metabolism. And I remember I told you my legs used to be so skinny. And if I showed you, I weighed 117 pounds, you guys, when I got married. Just try to figure that. Figure Maggie, and maybe I was a little bit taller because I think I lost a couple of inches. I shrank. We do that because our back vertebrae things kind of do the accordion thing. And, ooh, and, I think if I had been more aware, I would have maybe taken steps, to understand how disciplined I needed to be. But it creeps on you. And then life happens, right? You think that if something happens to you in your life, and I talk about it in another video, when I lost my business, my restaurant, when my restaurant folded, I spent 2 months sitting at my kitchen table, mourning the loss and eating. And I sat there, I remember eating bacon, cheese, a bunch of stuff. I started to put some weight on, but that just took me over the edge, right? And in menopause, not everybody struggles with their weight, but those of us who do, because the thyroid just becomes very hyperactive and you're not putting out estrogen, then it's very difficult for you to lose the weight once you get it out. And I keep saying that it's the friend that sticks closer than a brother. So when you start with you try it, you look at the fad, the diet, the cleanse, the fasting, and all that, and you lose the weight, but before you know it, you put it right back on because the metabolism is not keeping up with your intake of food. And for those of us, and again, I keep talking about me because not everybody struggles like I do, then it does something to you psychologically. You lose it, you gain it, and you get a little more. You know how that goes. You lose 10, and after you gain it, you have gained 15. And what I find is that cycle repeats itself so many times, and then you become tired. You become mentally, you're like, well, you know what? And I think that's what happens with some people. They don't understand the metabolic implication, and then you have the mental thing that says, well, I guess I can't lose it, and then you just give up, right? And then before you know it, you look like somebody different. And we do all kinds of things. We're like, oh well, the clothes has shrunk. It's the dryer. Come on, go back and look at your picture. I go back and look at my picture, and I look at my face, and I'm like, wow, I looked really bad because my face was full. But unless you're in tune, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. So now, when you start going into menopause, let's say God help blesses you, and you went through all the emotional and all the hot flashes and everything. When that estrogen starts to leave, a lot of things happen to your body, right? You can't lose weight. Some people's hair starts falling out. You can't sleep. And that barometer in your body that is so off, where nothing is the same. I said that it's like, ouch, my body has got a mind of its own, and it does whatever it wants to do. So from the time you go to menopause, as you start getting older, in the 50s, 60s, you gotta be in tune. And you have to understand that you can't, first of all, clean your gut. And I know Madiwa was asking me the other day about this fruit that people use to cleanse. I'm not a fan because I believe that if you clean your gut, you don't need to cleanse. Lots of water, ginger, turmeric, fruits and vegetables, healthy grains, a little bit of healthy fat, and you're good to go. You're good to go. And I think the meats, the processed food, is what you need to cut back on. Okay? And once you do that, I don't need to go pay somebody to give me a concussion. Let me tell you what happened to me one time. And again, I'm a medical person, understand that. I'm not, the average person. I know about health, but I did not know about the gut-brain connection and how important it was to have a clean gut for health. I did not. I know about hydration, right? Because I'm a cardiac nurse. I focus on cardiology, fat and exercise and salt, but understanding the benefits of the greens and some of the ingredients that you need to ingest to improve and clean up. This is like, they say at any time we have like 4 pounds of poop stuck because your intestine is like this. And if they were to stretch it, it's miles long. So there's a lot of spots for things to just sit there, right? And that's toxic. When you're like, oh, I don't feel good. Oh, I'm sluggish. Oh, I'm sleepy. Go to your gut. Go clean it up. You're going to have lots of energy. So I don't know. Maybe it was maybe 20 years ago. You're watching the videos and everybody is giving you their take on how to be healthy. And this guy was talking about, it was about cleaning your liver. You've heard that, right? How important the liver is, a detoxifier, and everything goes through the liver to get cleansed, right? So they were selling this liver cleanser. So I went online, I ordered it. It came in a those light brown, red looking bottle glass. And it was some kind of a whitish, that's good. Ow. Whitish concoction. And I took one dose of that. One dose, maybe it was like 2 tablespoons, according to the instruction on the bottle. Ladies, I got so wound up. Everything stopped in my tummy. And I got royally constipated to the point where I just could not go. So, of course, being a nurse, I took the Dr. Sage and all those little other pills that you can buy over the counter. Nothing was working. I tried to give myself, first of all, you buy the little fleets. Remember, it's like the oil enema. Things were so tight up there. It was there, but it would not move. I could not push the little thing in to soften the stool. I was like starting to panic. Of course, I tried to give myself a salt enema, salt, water, and soap. Couldn't do it. And I kept saying, oh my God, I'm probably gonna have to go to the emergency room because, as I was saying in our group yesterday, many times I have had to do this to patients just to disimpact them. Sorry if it's TMI, but I remember in '94, and you were a little lady who couldn't go, and the doctor sent me to do it. And by the time I finished with her, she was crying the whole time, and the mound was this high. So I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So I had to start doing that to myself. I thought I was gonna have to go to the emergency room for somebody to, and you know how embarrassing it would be for a nurse to walk in. One dose of that thing. But I think finally, after a lot of tries, and of course you're traumatizing your rectal area, you don't want to be doing that. And I finally, because once you get past that really tight ring, then the rest of it will come. I know it's not what you want to talk about today, but that was something that, I learned from that. So I'm not a fan of buying people's product to get results because I feel that I know what I need to do. When you hydrate, that's half your problem, right? People ask me here, is the water safe to drink in Panama? I say yes, but I boil the water that I drink because it was a habit that I had gotten into in Africa. So I have one of those glass containers and I boil my water. So if you come to my house, chances are you're gonna find water that has been boiled in that glass jar. And then once it's cool, I do it every night before I go to bed. And then in the morning, and then I pour the water in so it will cool. So I drink boiled water. Not that last time I was here in Panama, I had a water delivery system come and bring me water, the big 5 gallon. And I would get 2 of them every 2 weeks or so. But I was like, you hear stories about sometimes it's just plain water. So I feel like, I don't really need to do that. And in the Peace Corps, we had little tablets they had us put in our water to sanitize it, or you could boil it, which I did, and then if you could just put like a few drops of bleach in your water, and it will help. So I have had no issues with water here. But if you drink consistently, then You don't have to worry so much about uh, what you're drinking. So you hear about that, all that bottled water that we buy is just plain water. So listen, I wouldn't put it past them to do that to us. All right, chest press. Let's see if I can do 25 today. Remember, you got to challenge yourself every day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Ow, 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 ow. Oh. Oh. All right. Did you do a couple of extra? Did you challenge yourself? The joy is in the challenge. And they're doing the challenge and meeting that challenge and seeing the results. Like I said, for me, I want to see how I feel, how I look by May 31st. So today's May 1st. Happy, what is it? Labor Day here, work. This is a holiday here in Panama. I know Labor Day in the US is in September, but yeah. So, whew. All the information is good to hear, Maggie. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad to hear that. Bottled water. You know, it just breaks my heart to know that somebody would, you know, knowingly mislead the public at large just to make money. You know, this is the thing. You go to Europe, England, there's certain things you can't find, certain brand items you can't find because they tell you their government has banned those things because they know they're bad. Some cereals you can't find because our cereals are so loaded with crap that they're feeding our children. And so those of you who like cereal, please stop eating that stuff. It's loaded with sugar and it's just trash. And even doctor says oatmeal is not that great for you either. This guy, this guy said oatmeal is for the horses. I don't know if you've heard that. And I'm like, what? Yes. He said it's for the horses. That's what we should feed the horse. It's not for human consumption. I was never really that big of a oats kind of person, but I use it in my veggie burgers. My sister is an oats fanatic. She has oatmeal every day, and she's like this. She's very disciplined about her weight. So, but you know, I would not just go and throw away all my oatmeal because at least it's the closest to being wholesome, right? But anything that they make in a factory, don't trust it. If you go to the farmer's market and you buy something, you know it's kind of closest to the earth, even though some people still use fertilizer. Here in Panama, they'll tell you in Chiriquí, where we get most of our fruits and vegetables, yes, they spray them for insects. So that's why you gotta be diligent about cleaning your fruit. If I pick an apple or a pear, which are the two things I kind of eat, I would, take the sponge in the sink, put soap, and scrub it. And I think it rinse. And I think Malvina, she's a health coach, and she told us how to clean certain things with baking soda, certain things with a little bit of bleach. But me, I just scrub. Soap and water goes a long way instead of putting chemicals in your stuff. So Just hope the soap itself is not bad. Woo, my God, we are doomed because we're living in this capitalistic society where money trumps everything. Even if a company, oh my God, knows that something is bad for you, yet they'll still put it in your food because that means they would lose money. That's what you need to think about, right? Okay. Whew, this one is good for the inner thighs and the butts. Ow. Whew. Yeah. So just be careful and be aware. And I say, when I think back of the things I was feeding my kids, I am so embarrassed because I remember buying the big gallon of Kool-Aid and high C and all this stuff that was convenient, but just not so good for the kids. You know, with the dye in it, the kids with autism and ADHD, and they tell you, oh, it's all that, you know, food coloring and everything else that's in the food that we're feeding our kids. So think of yourself as a big kid and everything you're going to put in your body, ask yourself, is this good for me? When you grab that bag of potato chips, go buy a potato, slice it, season it a little bit, put it in the oven. That's better. You can find your own alternative. Buy lots of veggies, rinse them out, eat them. Now, raw, you gotta be careful because some raw food may contain things that you can't see in terms of little pests and stuff. So be careful. That's why I'm not a raw person, raw vegan, raw this. I'm not impressed by that, okay? I'd rather steam my vegetable. At least a little bit of heat is gonna kill some stuff. So I know there is a gentleman, something is coming. Is it this weekend or next weekend? Next weekend. They're gonna start this thing in Soho, Madiwa, and I know you're so excited to go see that gentleman who's into raw food. Yeah, he looks amazing, but this is not something that is of interest to me. I'm not a friend of juicing because I don't want to take the juice and get rid of the pulp. I want the pulp. It's good for my digestion, so I will smooth it, put it in a smoothie where I can get everything, right? Or I just eat it raw. When people say, like yesterday, this guy was like, oh, you can use mango and make it sorbet. Yeah, it's great. But I prefer to eat my mango whole. I don't have to put anything in it, anything with it. And then I enjoy mangoes. So that's me for you. A little bit of a rebel when people talk about oh things. I'm like, okay, I don't usually say how I feel about certain things. I just don't partake. My money is my own. I decide what I want to spend it on, right? So, when you're doing that, you have to be careful you don't put too much pressure on your neck, right? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ow, I could do more, but then the tension starts in my neck, and I have to be careful. Don't want to pop a disc in my neck. That would not be good. So be careful, ladies. Oh, so good. So good. Okay. I think one barometer for me when I'm really getting close to my goal is when I do this and I don't feel this fat, layer of fat. So I have it here and then I have it here. Those are my problem areas. But you know what? You can't fat reduce. So you can't say doing 500 sit-ups is gonna get rid of this fat. It's a scam. It doesn't work that way. You have to lose the fat throughout your body. You have skin, you have a layer of fat under there, and the muscle is right deep in. So what happens with menopause is that the fat buildup accelerates. That's why we have the belly fat and we have it under the skin. So when you see your if you take a circumference, when they're doing body measurements, they'll measure your bicep. You have very little muscle in there. You got to get rid of the layer of fat. You got to reduce it. Now listen, ladies, as older people, we need some fat. You need a little fat to cushion so that if you fall, it's not bone that hits the floor. You need a layer of fat. So your goal shouldn't be to have 5% body fat. You're not an athlete, you're not 18. Don't do it. You need some fat. But when it's a little bit too much, when it's a little bit too much, you increase your workout and then you reduce your fat intake and you reduce your food intake. That's why intermittent fasting works so well, okay? So don't go and think you are 20. You are not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. But you can tighten while you're losing the fat, okay? So, at the end of May, I want to see this go down a little bit, and I want this to be almost gone, okay? When I was at my best, when I laid on the floor like this, I could feel my hip bone. Now, I have to look for it because it's under the layer of fat. I know it's there buried, right? Okay. So just be kind to yourself. One more tightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Whew. Okay. And remember, every time you're on the floor, make sure you're intentional about keeping your lower back on the ground, okay? And then let's just pause. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Stretch your neck. Whew. Remember, you can't ever work your core too much because that is your lifeline right here, okay? You want to strengthen these hip bones, strengthen your back. If your back is weak, you're weak all over. You can't lift things up. Going up and down stairs is a problem, so work on your back. Make sure your doctor doesn't say you have osteoporosis there. If you do, you got to be careful. Maybe swimming would be more of a exercise for you, okay? So, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You feel this one in the hip. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, we did 50. And then now we're just going to press down gently as much as we can tolerate. You again working those hip joints, very important. As we get older, we tend to have pain here, and this is a gentle exercise to just gently press it out. And if you keep doing it every day, you're going to become a little bit more flexible. And again, it's only if you don't have issues, okay? Never hurt yourself and know your history. You can do that scan to see where you are if you have that's that. That's a scan, they do for osteoporosis. If you go get your annual with your mammogram, which I don't do anymore, but that's me. But I had a DEXA scan before I went to the Peace Corps. And I think 15 years ago, let me get back up, there was a doctor who told me I had uh, let's say you have osteopenia, pre-osteoporosis, that they saw maybe some changes in the bones. And then this doctor, like a typical American doctor, he gave me a prescription for Fosamax. Fosamax is something they were giving women. You take it once a week, right, for osteoporosis. And I went home and I did a review of Fosamax, and they say it could cause necrosis of your mandible, your bone here. And I was like, no, sir, I am not taking that. I started taking my calcium because you need vitamin D with your calcium. And I said, I'm going to do my exercises and let it go. So 2 years ago, I went and they did the other one, and it was the same. It had not progressed. And I told that doctor, I said, yeah, 15 years ago, that doctor wanted me to take Fosamax. He said, no, you don't need medication for that. This is the thing. Whew. I don't know, ladies. Maybe you've been victim of these doctors wanting to give you pills, pills, pills. I am not a pill taker. I have a blood pressure pill. I take my blood pressure. If it doesn't need it, I don't take it. Because a couple of times here in Panama, I'll be out there in the sun and I feel kind of weird, and I come home and my blood pressure is low. So you have to be careful with that. What else? I take bunches of, not bunches, I take a multivitamin now. I wish I could tell you I take them every day, but I'm not that good. I don't remember sometimes. So there is a vitamin D. I have a calcium with D. I have a magnesium. I do have B12 tablets, and I have folate because when I don't eat protein, you only absorb vitamin B12 in your gut when you eat meat. So if I'm not taking meat in, I need to replenish that. So most vegans are taking vitamin B12 to replace. So I do B12 and folate. I have B6. It's usually good for like if you're stressed out. What else do I have? Oh, I also had some omega-3 because I told you that too, my cholesterol was high, and then now cholesterol is good. It's not a bad thing. So I'm out of that. But I don't take a bunch of other things. People take echinacea and this and that. If you eat a good diet, you don't need to take all these supplements. And they also tell you when you take a bunch of supplements, your GI system says, hold up, that's too much. And then you pass a lot of it on, it's undigested. So you're just throwing your money away. Spend your money on good food, okay? And even the multivitamins, they say you probably don't need it because if you are eating right, you don't need a multivitamin. But, I have it. I don't take it every day, but I have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you're doing exercise and it feels a little challenging, that's good. That means you are doing the right thing. Again, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now I can see my form in the mirror, which is good. Up, hold, ooh. good. Whew. Yes, yes, yes. Good. I think there's another one that would be good for your joints too. The hip joint. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ow, ow. Whew. Mm. Round the back. Stretch it, stretch it. Stretch it. Release. Round. 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 Release. Okay. I'm sitting here looking at my legs. You know, that good old cellulite that becomes our best friend, it's not our good friend. So right here, I could see some. So I want to be looking down and not see so much of it. That means there is too much fat sitting right here. Okay? So that's why I'm going to keep doing this. Even when I'm watching TV, you keep doing that. Those little pulses are good to reshape your inner thigh. So find your problem spot and focus on it. Woo! It feels so good. Let's see, what am I going to do today? Today's Thursday. I have my Spanish class tonight, my second Spanish class. Yesterday, I forgot to send, I usually send my class some little love notes in Spanish to help them. Yesterday, I was so overtaken with that video, I forgot. So I'm going to do it today. And I'm going to, ow, oh, whew, get ready. So that's good. You guys, let's stretch. And we can chat for a minute if you have a question or two. The sun is out today. It's beautiful. But it is so hot. Sometimes I'm walking really slow. If I'm going somewhere, and I still sweat. I was just like, but I was telling a sister, sweating is not a bad thing. That's how you get rid of toxins. Remember, your skin is the largest organ in the body. It's your protective shield. That's why you have to protect it. And in these Panama streets, put sunscreen on. If you're gonna wear like tank tops, put some sunscreen on your arm, your neck, and then wear a hat or your paraguas. That's what they call umbrellas. You see the locals wear their umbrellas, so why don't you? Okay? They do. And sun damage is not just bad for cancer, it ages you. It makes you look old. So you have to protect your skin. And it doesn't matter if you're white or black, you still need sunscreen, sun protection. But having said that, I also tell the ladies, you need to try to get some sun at least every day. If you're not going out and you have a patio, get on the balcony. Get on the balcony and get some, get some sun. Okay? All right, guys. Sometime on the exercise, I use a chair for support. There is nothing wrong with that, sis. Nothing, absolutely nothing. You are not in competition with anybody. Balance is important, so it's better to do that than to fall, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. You just need to keep moving. Move whatever you can. Okay? That's why my exercises are not scripted. I just ad lib. We call it ad lib as you go. You're very welcome, sis. Francisco, bonjour. Comment ça va? Stuart, I'm vegan. Can vegans survive in Panama? Absolutely. Absolutely. Lots of vegan places to eat. Yes. Oh, yeah. And then Panama is a haven for fresh fruit, vegetables, root vegetables, grains, lots of corn and beans, rice, of course. But they eat a lot of white rice here. So got to watch that. But I found quinoa, not in large, quantities, but in pound bags. Yeah, vegans do great here. You walked a mile. Hey, good, very good, Greta. Come on, don't you feel great? Yes. So now for this challenge, I am having to watch my carbs. Not that carbs are bad, it's just because I tend to, I'm Caribbean. We eat a lot of carbs, lots of rice and other things. And it's really hard for me to stay away. And like I say, when I'm stressed, if I'm worried, I'm gonna eat it because it's like comfort food for me. I mean, it could be something else. So but my body will hold on to the fluid, and then it saves it for me where places that I don't need it to save. So that's why I have to stay away from carbs a little bit. But when I do a lot of curries. I'm a cook. I do a cooking show. The curries are like beans, and then I like things like calabaza squash, sweet potatoes. I don't like the ones here so much, so I don't use sweet potato that much, but I love the squash. They have great squash here. Plantains, these still carbs, but don't eat too much of it. Potatoes are good. And then I put beans and then some kind of potato. I put curry powder or something else and thicken the sauce, and you good. And if you put that with some grains, there is millet and what's the other one that I saw? Couscous. I've seen couscous here. So yeah, it's not a problem. We have everything you need to make a great meal that doesn't include meat. But of course, meat is very prevalent here because they eat a lot of chicken, they eat a lot of beef, and some pork. Even someone said pork was the most abundant meat here. And I was like, really? But they have the cutlets, they cut it and they slice it. You know what we used to call pork chops here? I'm not shopping for a pork chop. I'm sure if I went to Reba Smith, I would find it. But most of the time, the average Panamanian, they slice it really thin, and they call it cutlets, and that's what I see that people use a lot of. But chicken, 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 chicken everywhere. So I have to watch chicken. I'm mostly whole food plant based. I'm thinking of doing a recipe this Sunday, which is like a French theme dish, a French way of cooking the chicken breast, and then I'm making ratatouille. Ratatouille is truly vegan. It's eggplant based with all kinds of veggies, and then you bake it. If you want, you can top it with some palm cheese, but not for the vegan, I know. But I like to have that little topper for the ratatouille. So good and so pretty. And some chefs even slice it's zucchini, it's squash, it's tomatoes. I think those are the three, and onions. I've seen chefs slice them and kind of layer them and then put them like in a round dish. It looks so pretty. And then my herb oil, I could just put that there. Oh, you can't go wrong with that. I was dipping the pita in the herb oil yesterday. That's why I was bad yesterday. But now it's gone. I have to worry about it again. Do something when it with the Swiss chard, sure. Don't you love it? It's just so. And then you put a little olive oil, and it comes out shiny. Oh, it is so pretty. But it's like kale. It's hard to season. It's very earthy when it comes to the taste. Because to me, some of these veggies, I don't like to for them to disappear in a dish. But if you make a curry, remember, curry is like if I took chickpeas and I took lentils and I took not black beans, but maybe a light colored beans, and you cook it, but you cook it in a base of, I always start with onions and garlic, olive oil. Then you dice the peppers. Always buy the multicolored peppers. I mean, it makes your dish look so happy, and then it makes you happy, right? And then if I were to add, the squash, let it cook. You could use the squash. Once it's cooked, you can smash some of it on the side of the pan. It becomes your thickener. And then you use your veggie broth, which you should have in your kitchen. And when you cook everything, maybe you put some curry powder. I love curry powder. Or if you want to use turmeric powder, you could do that. And then it becomes that thick, soupy thing. So you could take the Swiss chard, Greta, on the side. You cook the Swiss chard in the 2 minutes it takes. You chop it, put a little garlic, olive oil, you just flip it. By the time you flip it, it's done. And then once your curry is done, then you add the Swiss chard to it. So we can keep that nice green popping color. Then you could do that. And then if you wanted to eat it like that, you could also put it on the side with some rice, maybe brown rice or quinoa or millet or, because I can think of the name of that other grain. It's kind of reddish brown. So you could use it like that. Or Swiss chard, you could just have it on the side, with your eggs and your potatoes. It's a nice accompaniment. Have you ever had potato greens? So yummy. Potato green. Like greens and potatoes? Yeah, yeah. But potatoes, again, for me, is just like rice. So I'm kind of very leery of eating it, right? Even though it's good for you, but it's a starch. So you're not usually going to find potatoes in my kitchen unless I'm making a dish and I have to buy it. Like, scallop potatoes. If you have a party, you have to have scallop potatoes, right? People make potato salad. I make it for a party, but I'm never going to make it here for me. Yesterday, I watched this girl make potato au gratin, She calls it, for whoever said bonjour, Francisco, potato au gratin. Well, it's just potatoes with some cream and cheese. That's all it is. Okay, potatoes, cream, cheese. We don't need that. That's too much fat. You can't be eating that at our age. That is not a healthy dish. All right. So that's something you do if you're going to a party, to an event, just to impress your guests, but it's not healthy. Not at all. Oh, the greens and this. Oh, no, no, I haven't made that. You got to show me how you make that. Yes. So, in terms of cooking healthy, you just need to be versatile. Like today is Thursday. Yesterday, I finished eating my veggie balls and veggie patties. So today, I have to figure out what I'm going to cook. And usually, I just open the fridge and I stand there and I look, open my cupboards and I look and see what I can mix and match. I have lots of beans. I do have rice, but I'm staying away from rice. So I figured I need to find some veggies to mix with my beans and then to make something that is healthy that I can eat right now for the life. But remember, I don't eat breakfast. Like, I haven't had anything to eat, and I'm probably not going to eat lunch. I eat like when I'm doing a challenge like that. This is true intermittent fasting where I'm gonna eat maybe between 4 and 6, eat something, and then make sure I have some fruit. So if I'm hungry later on, I could snack on that. But I had raisins, I had almonds, and not the thing that I meant to. Oh goodness. The greens on the sweet potato stalk. That's interesting. That's interesting. When you get a chance, look at how Liberians make their greens. Okay. Oh, you mean like collard greens? They make it a little bit different than you guys do. Collard greens is great, but all that. Uh, what is it that you guys use to season it? You have that turkey neck bones and all these cured meat. You take away all the health benefit of the veggie. Yeah. Oh, shh. I don't let any Southern person hear me say that. I'm committing the unpardonable sin. I like the Swiss chard that I can just flip it in there with a little garlic and then I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Liberians. Okay. I certainly will. Now, I was in New York one time, and I think it was a business meeting. And this guy, he was from Texas, but he had the hookup with this restaurant somewhere upstate New York. And he took us, there were like maybe 25 of us. And then he's like, hey, he's talked to the guy, and he's like, okay, we're here to eat. And they took a bunch of tables and they put them together, and it became this long table, right? And then he told the guy, he said, bring one of everything that is on the menu. Guys, when I tell you, it was a Lebanese restaurant. They started bringing, and they did the appetizers, the salad, the entree, the dessert. They started at that end and all the way. And then we were like, ooh, and ah, and it was just like a huge buffet. And we were just eating that like the naan bread, and they had the chickpeas, and ooh, that was so many years ago, and I still remember that. And they make a basmati fragrant rice with cinnamon and raisin. Ooh, that was so good. That was so good. Here, the closest I've been to the Lebanese restaurant, there's a Lebanese restaurant at the Balboa shopping, which is like a little shopping plaza, and they have a restaurant on the second level. And I had, what did I have? What do they call the chickpea round things? And they had it in like in a sauce on the side. Oh, falafel. Yes, I had falafel, and they have that bread too that they give you. It's like naan bread, and then you can, use it to scoop whatever sauce they have. And I like their hummus, and they do the hummus, and then they put that oil. My herb oil can replace the herb oil that when you go to what's this restaurant in New York, in the States. When Italian restaurant, and then they bring you the bread that is nice, and then you can put it in that, you dip it in that dipping oil. My herb oil yesterday was just like that. So it's olive oil, salt. You could use sea salt if you want, cracked pepper, and then the dry herbs. I have a herb mixture called fine herbs. I put oregano, a little bit of thyme, some red pepper flakes, mm, basil, and then I had fresh rosemary that I chopped really small, and then I chopped some fresh garlic, and just shake it all. Listen, go try it. You're getting herbs and olive oil and garlic. So guilt free. So whatever bread you have, if you love bread, Modiwa, just do that. Shake it like in a jar and then use it. Scoop it up with your bread. Pita, naan, any kind of bread like that is yummy. And that's a kind of a guiltless snack, right? You don't have to feel too bad about it. It's better than potato chips. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a shower and enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you do the same. So we made it for 1 week. I made it for 1 week. So yeah, my arms are not bad, but still too plump over here. But we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. You have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Bonjour, bonne journée. Bye bye.